Welcome to Animal Football Insider, your weekly look into the happenings of your Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Florida Gators, and all things related to football. And now, from West Des Moines, Iowa, here's your host, The Animal.
I tell you what, every time I hear that song, I get so excited. I get so pumped. I have to wear my new Florida Gator jersey that I got through fanatics.com. It is just amazing. Welcome to this edition of the Animal Football Insider, your Super Bowl edition, where tonight we get ready for what's going to be, what could be a very, very good game as the Chiefs and the Eagles will do battle in Arizona. Sunday night, 6:30 Eastern time. It's going to be a great time. We got a lot going on tonight. We got the NFL Awards show that's happening in a little bit. We'll update you as things go along. We're waiting to hear who's going to be in the Hall of Fame. We have our fingers crossed that Rondy Barber, former Buccaneer defensive back, will be elected into the Hall of Fame. We are keeping our fingers crossed, but we're going to keep you updated on that throughout the course of the night. They have the red carpet show that's going on right now on the NFL Network. And of course, we'll update you on everything that's going on, either through Twitter or through Facebook or whatever. But you got your comments. Please welcome it tonight. We would love to have you on. Even my good friend Jeffrey Neal Fox joining me tonight. Yes, it's fantastic. Hopefully, Lucas Man Gator will join me a little bit later on. I understand that he has made his way into the green room, but he refuses to join me right now because he's chomping on those chicken wings right now that we have inside the green room. So if we can try and prime away, we'll get an update what's going on with these guys right here with the Florida Gators as they get ready. They're doing their spring training stuff right now. Well, not spring training, but off-season stuff going on right now. There's a lot of things that are happening now with recruiting and other things that's going on. And also, big news that's come out the SEC that happened a little more than a half hour ago. We're going to break it to you in just a couple of minutes. But we'll welcome you tonight. Please post your comments in the chat room if you want to. We're more than happy to have that as well. And maybe my good friend Lauren Meadows will join us a little bit later on tonight. We'll get his predictions on the game coming up Sunday as we get ready for the Super Bowl. Don't see him on Facebook yet, but you just never know. But maybe if I can try and get this guy to join me, he can talk about what's going on, gets his insight on what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's what we're going to begin with tonight's broadcast. As you all know by now, the Buccaneers are in the midst of getting ready for their offseason, getting ready for their offseason program and what have you. But in the process, they're trying to find out who's going to be their next offensive coordinator. Several names have been leaking out. One's been Dirk Cutter, obviously. He's been mentioned as an offensive coordinator. We've also heard of the possibility of a guy named Don Pincher, I believe his name is. If somebody has the correct number on it, please post it in chat. But he's coming in for a second interview, and so that's going to be going on. But one interesting aspect, Tom Moore, who was overseeing the Buccaneers offense and what have you, the Bucs just signed him to a new contract. I don't know how long it is for. Moore is like, what, 82, 83 years old? Been a coach for a long time. And now the Bucs have decided to re-sign him, which I think is a great move. No doubt about it. Tom Moore has a great mind for offense, knows what it's about. So, and I'm sure he's going to have a hand in say who's going to become the new offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And for the Super Bowl, it's going to be the as we said before, Chiefs, Eagles in Arizona. And I'm kind of torn on which way I want to go during the course of this game, because I don't like Philadelphia. I don't like them one bit. I think they're the most arrogant, obnoxious group of people you ever want to meet. I've told you the stories about the Philadelphia Eagle fans and what I think about them, but I think that for the most part, Nick Sirianno and Jalen Hurts, what they've done with that team has been quite remarkable. Make no mistake about it. And they didn't get there just because of their good looks. They are a very good football team, regardless of the fans that they have. And Lord knows I will never root for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're obnoxious. They're arrogant. And we're not including Lucas Jermaine Gator. You know what I'm saying? But, that's no story altogether. But they are just arrogant. They just feel like they're the toast of they just feel like they're the toast of the town. They treat their fans like crap. The one thing I'll say about Kansas City, and I don't like Kansas City because I think they're so good. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like Kansas City because I think they're just so good. Because they're just good. They have their level of talent around them. They're very good offensively. They have a great defense. Bonnie K, who's in the house tonight, says, I think Kansas City's going to win. I don't think it'll be by much because Casey quarterback has a hurt leg, but I think they'll win. Bonnie, thank you for commenting on that. I appreciate that. But as far as Mahomes' injury, what's going on with him with that high ankle sprain, a lot of people believe that, including Mahomes, feels like he's improving. They feel like that today and tomorrow is the hardest days of the week. It's going to determine how mobile he's going to be able to move during the course of the game. You don't want to know my honest opinion? I think it's all a charade. I think Patrick Mahomes is fine, and I think what you're going to see during the course of the game is a guy that is going to be moving. It's going to be moving around a lot, okay? Because the Eagles are going to bring that defense. Make no mistake about it. They're going to bring that defense like crazy, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, how Philadelphia handles Mahomes. Okay. We're getting some things early coming out for the award show tonight. We can tell you that DeMarco Ryans is up for a head coaching spot with several NFL teams. Excuse me, he has been named as the NFL's Defensive Coach of the Year. That's the first award that we have heard. Some other things I've not heard of, but we'll keep you posted. But that's the first leak that's coming out of the NFL awards tonight. That DeMarco Ryans is going to be named as defensive NFL Defensive Coach of the Year. So that's the first award that we've heard tonight, and we'll keep you update on what's going on with that as well. Here's what's interesting. Something that's interesting. Just watching, as you know, the NFL draft's right around the corner. A lot of guys have announced their intentions of where they're going to go. Here's a tweet that I just got. It says that Anthony Richardson, former quarterback for the Florida Gators, who announced his intentions to go to the NFL draft, has said that he started just 13 games throughout his college career in Florida. If he's selected in the first round, it would be the least amount of games started by a college quarterback selected in the first round since 2000. I find that to be interesting. He is a great quarterback. He's able to do what he's able to do the things that he needs to do. The only flaw to Anthony Richardson is that Dan Mullen held him back a little bit with all that stuff that went on. But I love Anthony Richardson. I love what he brings to the game. In fact, I tell you what, I would not mind if Anthony Richardson was selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it would be fabulous to see a race for the starting quarterback between two former Florida Gator quarterbacks, one in Kyle Trask, the other in Anthony Richardson. I think it would be awesome. I think that would be a quarterback competition that I would pay to see. Because you have two outstanding quarterbacks who have done a marvelous job with their programs. Now, people who go back and look at Kyle Trask, the way he performed in that New Orleans Saints game, and say, oh, man, he's a bust. He's not going to do anything. People, first of all, that was his first game ever played in the NFL. And if you think for 1 minute that a guy like that is not going to have mistakes, then you obviously don't know football. Okay? It's very rare that a guy that makes a first start just like that is going to have a outstanding game. Trask played decent. He didn't play great. He played decent. And for those that believe that Kyle Trask is not the future of this ball club, I beg you to differ. I think Kyle Trask has more upside on him than everybody believes. Now, is he going to be an instant success with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Probably not. Probably not. In fact, probably I see Kyle Trask as being a project that could take a couple of years. But this is what we're going to expect with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For Pete's sakes, they are $55 million over the cap. Think about that for just a minute. $55 million over the cap. Tom Brady has gone ahead and retired, okay? They're hoping that they can split, and Brady accounts for $35 million. And they're hoping to split it between $24 million this year and the other next year to count against them. They are in complete financial doo-doo. Make no mistake about it. And for everybody that believes that the Buccaneers are going to have a success next year, you really have another thing coming. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the biggest and most supportive Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans anybody will ever find. People can ask Dan Lucas. People can ask Jeffrey Neal Fox about where I stand with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they would tell you that I'm one of the most loyal Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans anybody will ever find. But I also understand the reality of things, too, and the way the salary cap has come into play. And don't be surprised if Donovan Smith gets cut, thank God, Cameron Brake gets cut. And several other big names get cut because they believe because um, because of the implications of the salary cap. And guys, they don't have much time to do it. What's the NFL starting date? March 22nd, when the new year begins. That's when they have to be under the salary cap. So it's right after the Super Bowl. You're going to start hearing a lot of names come into play. We've all heard about Tom Brady. He's going to retire. That is for certain. We've heard that, and I think the college draft is going to take over. I can tell you here tonight that Derek Carr has been meeting with another team. I believe I think it's Detroit. I'm not sure. I do know that he has a second interview with them. And I think that for all the talk, everybody believing that a guy like Derek Carr is just going to come in and take over this team, I think most people are going to be sadly mistaken. You know, it's one of those situations where the cap is going to hinder their ability to sign a lot of free agents. Now, if Jason Light is able to find a way to keep these guys, I think it'd be great. Wouldn't surprise me. But who knows what's going to happen, you know? By the way, happy birthday, shout out to Todd Tryon, the commissioner of the Indoor Football League. By the way, we were hoping to have our good friend Dave Murchison, head coach of the Iowa Barnstormer, on tonight, but he has some things going on getting ready for the season, so he's unable to join us tonight. But he gave us his Super Bowl prediction, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I'll give you my prediction a little bit later on in the show. But to think about this for just a minute, $55 million over the cap, and very little room to spend the money. It gives you a feeling of how they're going to be able to be successful in 2023. I'm not so sure that this Buccaneer team can be. It'd be successful in 2023 unless Jason Light is able to bring in some great talent and do it in a way that keeps them under the salary cap. It's going to be interesting. Make no mistake about it. This is going to be one of the more fascinating off seasons to look at in terms of money and how they structure things. Richard McKay, the former GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and now with the Atlanta Falcons. He did a masterful job with that. Now it's Jason Light's turn to figure out where he wants to sign the people and how he wants to sign them. It's going to be interesting. Keep our eyes on that during the off season. That's for sure. Of course, we have the big game coming up: Steelers versus the not Steelers, Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't have a dog in this fight. I just don't have a dog in the fight. I really don't like either team, but I respect the way that they have played. And I said before, I don't like the Eagles. I don't like their fans. I think they're one of the more arrogant group of people you ever met. Please do not get me started on them. Because I can tell you stories about those Eagle fans that would just shock you, that would just deploy you when you hear these people and the ugly and vital things that they talk about. And I almost would love to root for the Kansas City Chiefs. But when I saw those post game interviews where Travis Kelsey was sitting up there yelling and screaming at the Cincinnati governor, calling him a jabroni, calling these other things, and I know it's all in good fun and things like that, but I sensed a sense of arrogance among them. And I'll tell you right here now, Kansas City is great. They have a great team. They're a really great team. And I don't think the Patrick Mahomes high ankle sprain is going to affect them in any way. I think Mahomes is fine. Okay, Kansas City is trying to play this up a little bit, make it look like that he's really injured and this sort of thing. But I don't buy that. I think Mahomes is fine, but I think the Eagles have a defense that's one of the best that we've seen in the NFL in quite a while. And it's that reason only that well, I'll wait for my Super Bowl prediction a little bit later on in the show. Let us and we'll get back to Super Bowl in just a little bit. Let's switch our gears and let's talk a little bit about these boys right here, and especially college football. Speaking of which, let's get to the big news. Let us get to the big news that has happened within the past hour. And it's kind of shocking to me. Now, as you will know by now, Texas and Oklahoma were supposed to be joining the SEC in 2025. But today, it was announced that both teams are going to join the SEC in the 2024 season. Hang on a minute. I'm going to find the exact story that I have on this. This just happened a little while ago. And while we're at it, I mean, if you're an SEC fan, do you like the fact that those two programs coming into the SEC? I mean, when I think of the SEC, I think of teams like Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. I think of the Southern teams. I don't think of Oklahoma as I don't know. I do not think of Oklahoma as a Southern team, and I don't know how anybody else would feel about it. I don't even know how Lucas the Man Gator would feel about it. Lucas, 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 put down the chicken wing, son. Okay. That's right. Wipe off your mouth. That's right. That's right. Get in your chair. Get ready. Okay, I'm going to bring you on in just a minute, son. I told you to be on standby. Good Lord of mercy. Only a Gator fan would just be eating chicken wings. Left. He's been eating chicken wings since this show began. Okay, he's probably on his 20th chicken wing. Oh man, look at the Man Gator joins us on this edition of the Animal.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy, we're gonna switch up gears for a few minutes. Let's first start off. Let me get your reaction. Oklahoma and Texas coming in 2024. I mean, it was supposed to be in 2025, but now they moved it up a year. I mean,
It's not, in my opinion. I don't. I like you said. I think of Southern team. I don't think of Texas and Oklahoma.
they're great teams. They're great teams, and I don't think I have too much of a problem coming into our conference. But by the same token, they would be more. I think they would be more settled in with a with a Midwest conference. But that's just my opinion. By them coming into the league a year early, what does this do for teams like Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, teams like that? I mean, what does this do for them by them coming in a year early?
What do you mean by what does it do as far as recruiting? Or
Think about this for just a minute. They're coming in a year early. That means schedules which have already been set have to be altered. So how much this is going to affect teams they've already had their schedules already set 5, 6 years down the road. Now they have to reset their schedules altogether.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. But anyway, you you want to talk about some recruiting since I'm your
We'll get into recruiting. We'll get into recruiting for just a minute. Um, but my point is that do you think that by them coming in a year early sends a shockwave to the SEC commissioner? I believe his name Greg somebody. I forget his last
Greg
name.
Stinky.
Yeah, Greg Sankey. You think he's a bit nervous now about how they're going to readjust the SEC schedule? Not to mention the
I
TV contracts. Not to
I
mention the TV contracts.
I
Think
think
about that too.
I think they have to go to 9 games.
Go 9 games. Yeah, I would think I would think that would happen. Let's talk a little bit about the Florida Gators. I don't want to get into the whole Jacob Rashada deal. We've talked enough about that till we're blue in the face. Um, as far as recruiting news, we've heard some good things about 2024. We know DJ Lagaway, or if that's his name, the All-Star quarterback, is coming in next year. In fact, he mentioned on David Waters' Gator Breakdown show last night that
That
he's
he's
going to be enrolling early, which I think is huge for the Florida Gators. How much of an impact will Lagway have in bringing in top recruits to the
that
University of Florida?
Lagway. Well, I don't know. You have Twitter. You see it. You have Twitter. You see it every day. That boy is always recruiting for UF. He wants to be here. Top 5 class. I think. I think this is gonna be a top 5 class. No doubt in my mind.
One of the things Lucas the Man Gator joins me here. I need to do this right here. Lucas the Man Gator joins me here on the Corporate Direct One hotline for all your corporate direct needs. Give my good friend Taylor Benton a call. He'll be more than happy to assist you with all your corporate direct needs. Um, I'm just curious here. Lagway is going out. He is committing. He is bringing everything. He is bringing everything. He's bringing everything on the table, trying to recruit these guys. And what I find most impressive about this Florida Gator team is the coaching staff. Very few coaches have left, if any at all. What does that say about Billy Napier and the
I'll tell you
character
what
that
it
he
says.
brings
They
to this team?
believe in what he's trying to build, and they believe in him, and they believe that he's gonna right the ship.
Ben Sass, he's the new president of the University of Florida, taking over the school. I think his first day was today, maybe tomorrow. I think. Are we going to hear some things coming out in the future about the Florida Gator athletics? I mean,
I
is
would.
Josh? Do you think Josh Strickland's on the hot seat?
It, it depends on how Billy Napier does. I mean, if if Billy Napier flops, but I don't think he will. But if he does flop, he's gonna have to be fired. That's the way. I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, but
Right. What about recruiting? I mean, 2000. It's time for 2024. We hear about Lagway. What are the other plays that we are hearing about as we get ready?
I got the list right in front of me. 5 possible commitments. I'll just read off the list.
Go ahead, please.
I'll let me go back up.
Go
Um,
ahead.
we have Florida State defensive back commit Jordan Pride. Um, this is for Corey Bender, by the way. Okay, just on the line.
Right. Courtesy of Corey Benya of on3.com. Go ahead.
Kendall Jackson, who is his mom is a Gator. Aubrey Hill, the former Gator wide receiver, is his uncle. He goes to Buchholz in Gainesville, and then another one to keep an eye on is Jake Garina. Um, and then we have uh Kevin Leary. He's a West Palm Beach defensive back, and then last but not least is interior offensive lineman Joseph Leona. He's been on campus 4 times. He was offered by the staff in last month at a camp. I like going
Right.
to sit with him. This class has a chance to be very special.
They could be a top. I think they could be a top five if things work out the way that we think they're going to. But the one negative thing is the whole Jacob Rashada deal, and I said I don't want to talk too much about that, but the effects or the ramifications from everything that happened. Does this give Florida a black eye, or are people smart enough to realize, or do you think people are smart enough to realize what exactly happened?
I'm gonna go with the second one. I think
Right.
people are starting enough to realize that the kid wanted to be here, but there were people to blame that got stumped to blame, and let me say this. First of all, I wish the kid luck. I wish it would have worked out. I don't blame him for not, because it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, yeah, and look, I think there needs to be it needs to be explained right here that it wasn't Jacob Rashada's fault, it was the University of Florida's fault, it even wasn't Gator Collective fault. It was somebody outside of the university that decided they wanted to step in, represent Jacob Rashada, negotiate a deal, and I don't and look, I don't even know if Rashada had given him permission to do this.
You know what's funny? You read the athletic article, right?
Yes, I've read the whole thing. Yeah, I know the whole story. I've read all that, but and I get the impression that the people that were trying to negotiate for Rashada did not have any idea what they were doing. I mean, from the standpoint that Rashada did not know that he was being represented. I don't know how you take that.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he's not here anymore, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you, and yeah, and so uh, hopefully they'll
By
move
the
on
way,
from this. And
when I was reading the names, could you hear me pretty well?
yeah, I can hear you just fine. Let me ask you this: um, do you have any problem with the Gators hosting doing orange and blue night on Thursday night. You have any problems with that?
No, because the reason why he's doing it is so he can host more recruits and get the spotlight to himself. That's the main reason why Billy Napier is doing what he's doing. And
Yeah, right. And I agree with you. I think it's great. I think it's a great night to host it.
and and,
it
and another
it's
thing
just so
46% of the guys that went to the spring game are either enrolled or committed to the staff from last year.
yeah, you know, I they have a high majority of players already participating in the off-season program. They just finished their foundation phase of the program. They're starting their identity phase, which are in
I'll tell you what.
conjunction.
I'll tell you what player I'm most excited to see, and that's Trey Webb, the running back of the.
I am excited also to see him. And speaking of running back, let me fill people in on something that happened. Twitter had a story last night in which some story came up that Trevor Etienne, is that Trevor, right?
Trevor Etienne, the brother of Travis.
Trevor Etienne was supposed to be going into the transfer portal. That was a false story. I want to make clear to everybody there is nothing to that whatsoever. And so Etienne is going to be a Florida. He's staying with Florida. He's not moving anywhere. And
And
why should he?
by the way,
You
I did give you credit, even though you kind of yelled at me.
well, not yelling. I just want to make sure you gave me credit, knowing that I was the one that told you about it. So yeah. Trevor Eaton is not going to be transferring. He's going to be staying in Florida. And why not? He's going to have the same coaching staff as last year. So I look at it being nothing but great for the Florida Gators. So hopefully they can move on. Any other recruiting news that you can report to me tonight?
Not right now. Not right now. As you know, I'm always posting and sharing information. So if you
There
want,
you go. There you go. Well, hopefully next week when you join me for my season finale, you have some updates, some good updates, by the way.
by the
Okay.
way, on three Gators Online is well worth it. If you don't have it, buy it. Are you gonna have
Yeah,
Nick back on?
yeah. Gators Online is a great source for your Gator content. So go to gatorsonline.com, courtesy of on3.com, and they give you all the best information that they
By the way, are
can.
you gonna have Nick back on? Because I always like Nick.
Nick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Nick. I'm trying to get Nick Telatori on, so hopefully we can have him on soon. Lucas, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You know I'm always. You know you can always count on me.
All
I
right,
always.
man. I appreciate that.
I
I
always love
appreciate that.
talking Gator football. So
There you go. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Lucas. Lucas, the main Gator, giving us an update what's happening with the Florida Gators and everything. And uh, to see all that transpired with the Trevor Etienne deal, uh, I'm surprised that it did not get as much traction as everybody thought that it was going to. I mean, I really and honestly thought that as that story broke about 7:30 in the morning, but nobody had even picked up on the story. And so I think that as the night was going along, as the day was going along, people realized that it was just a fake story. Nobody from the University of Florida or anybody uh, was even commenting on it. I'm watching the NFL awards, and they got Kelly Clarkson in a Dallas Cowboy outfit with a Dallas Cowboy jersey, number 88, and then the skirt that she has the name of all the Dallas Cowboy players. I don't know, just looks like that she's a Dallas Cowboy fan, but I'm not so sure about that. And of course, we'll be watching the awards as they come in. Hopefully, there'll be some updates before we get off the show tonight. So, a lot of people have been asking, who do I like in the Super Bowl? I'm kind of torn by this because, as I said before, the arrogancy of the Kansas City Chiefs has been waning. And when you look at how arrogant they have been, has just been unbelievable. You know, um, and by the way, I was where's my boy? Where's my boy? I was talking with him earlier. Dave Murchison was unable to be with us tonight. Picks the Chiefs to win. And let me do this right here. Let me do this right here real quick. And Murchison picks Chiefs to win Sunday. Who's the and then they're looking at I guess the offensive MVP, Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's a beast. I remember his days when he was at, I believe, LSU. I mean, the kid was the kid was just amazing. As somebody who's going to win Sunday, the team with the most points. But come on now. Jeez, come on. If you're not man enough to predict who you want to win this Sunday, then you are very sadly mistaken. Offensive Player of the Year awards being presented right now. We'll give that to you just a minute. My prediction: Patrick Mahomes. No. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Justin Jefferson. Wow. That is a shock. That is a shocker to me. But yeah, I mean, Jefferson's been making plays all years for the Vikings. He has been he's been a beast on the wide receiver position in the NFL this year. So kind of interesting to see that Justin Jefferson takes that home over Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Okay. And speaking of Jalen Hurts, think about this for just a minute. This is a guy that did pretty well at Alabama. Formerly, I believe, was at Oklahoma before he transferred. And I look at Hurts and I look at the players around him and what he's able to do with that Eagle team and the talent that he has. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I have no dog in the fight. I said it before. I'll say it again. I really and truly have no dog in the fight. But I for some reason, there's something in the back of my head that tells me that the Eagles are going to pull this out. Okay. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to wait till the end of the show. I'm going to tell you right now. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win. I think they're going to win. I don't think it's going to be by much. So this is not going to be an explosive game that sees where the Eagles just blows everybody away. This is going to be a game in which we see where I think this is going to be a game where the Eagles is going to surprise a lot of people. I think their defense is more explosive than what everybody gives them credit for. Um, and I think that I really do believe, knowing the Eagles, the way that I've seen them play, I think they're going to do everything they can to damage Patrick Mahomes and that ankle. It's not going to surprise me. It's not going to surprise me. You know? Somebody predicts KC 27, Philadelphia 24. Crazy. I just don't see it happen. Okay. Um, I, I think the Eagles defense is just too strong. I think the Eagles is just too strong of a defensive team. I don't think KC has seen the likes of Philadelphia this year. Cincinnati, they were good, but they don't have the strength and the power that what Eagles have. When Steve Lauren Meadows is going to be able to join me tonight on this edition of Animal Football Insider. Was supposed to join me here. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see if I can get to this guy. See if I can get somebody here to join me. Don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see if we can get a surprise guest to join us on this edition of the Animal Football Insider. Nick Bosa wins the AP Defensive Player of the Year. Well deserved. Just an outstanding nose tackle. Reminds me a lot of Nick Bosa. Reminds me a lot of Leroy Selman, and the way he just dominates on that defensive line. And he doesn't look so big in a suit and all, but you see him in a football uniform, that boy is huge. I mean, he is just humongous. So that's who I think. But yeah, but I think the Eagles are just too big for the britches. I think KC. I think the Philadelphia is just going to wipe them off the floor. I think it's going to be maybe a 10 to 14 point win. That's how big I think the Eagles could beat them. Now, could we see some surprises? I think we could. To what extent, though, I have no idea. It just depends. Injuries are going to play a factor in the game. We could see Jalen Hurts be out of the game. We could see. I mean, it just depends on how It just depends on how we see this game develop. And Arizona, and from everything I'm hearing, Arizona's done a great job in hosting the game. So congratulations to them. Okay. And should be like I said, should be a heck of a game. Make no mistake about it. You're sure the animal on this edition of the Animal Football Insider, brought to you by the fine people at Carpet Direct. Carpet Direct for all of your carpeting needs in the West Des Moines or Des Moines, Iowa area. Give my good friend Taylor Benton a call. He'd be more than happy to set you up with any carpeting needs that you would need. Give him a call at the following phone number of 712-260-2867. Carpet Direct for all of your flooring and carpet needs in the Western Moyne, Iowa area. Give him a call. Be more happy to set you up with all that. And then we thank Benton for his fine sponsorship throughout the course of the year. I would tell you right here and now, Benton will join us next week on our season-ending edition of the Animal Football Insider. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to a great time with him. Make no mistake about it. But why is KC such a great team? I mean, yeah, they have a great offense in Mahomes. They have a great running back in what's his name? What is the running back's name? The Hilaire? Oh man, I forget. Okay, now I'm stumped. Okay, somebody post in chat. Jimmy Pratt should be watching my show tonight. That Diddy Rat bastard. Let's see. Current running back. Let's see here. I want to say Hilaire, but I'm not sure. Let's see here. I want to say. Let's see here. Can't even type. Jeez. Let's see here. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. That's who I'm thinking of. And don't forget Kadarius Toney. Gators. You know? I mean, you think about that. Yeah, Pacheco. Let's see, McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. Thanks, Jimmy. I'm glad you kind of joined on. I was trying to think of the running backs, and Hilaire was the one guy that comes to my mind. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, who, by the way, is an outstanding running back. The way that boy runs is just amazing to me. And yes, dadgummit, I don't know why I didn't even bother to think about that. Ronald Jones, former running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. I will say this. I am going to say this right here and now. I am not going to be surprised if we see Ronald Jones rush for over 100 yards in the game on Sunday. I have seen Ronald Jones the way that he played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what Bruce Arians and company, what they did to him was atrocious. That boy, keep in mind, this is a kid that set the record for the longest play from scrimmage in Tampa Bay Buccaneer history. It was like a 98-yard running play. And if I'm not mistaken, if I am not mistaken, I want to say that was against Kansas City, but I think I'm wrong on that. Excuse me. Hang on. Longest offensive play for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know it was Ronald Jones. Let's see, 98-yard TD run. But who was it again against Carolina Panthers? Okay. Sorry, Kansas City Chiefs fans. No, it was against the Carolina Panthers in Carolina where he took off 98 yards for that play. And I love Arnold Jones. I just love what he brings to the game, and Jimmy Pratt comments, and he says it perfectly. It's not getting enough playing time. If it wasn't for the fact of how good Philadelphia Eagles defense plays, I'd be rooting for Kansas City. But I think that Kansas City comes into this game with a lot of arrogance. I think there's a lot of thinking that, hey, we've been here before, we can do it again, that type of mojo, you know? And it kind of irks me a little bit. I don't mind the arrogance. I mean, I don't mind being confident. But when you publicly display that, just makes it to me just sends a crawl down my back. So I'm gonna root for the Philadelphia Eagles. 28-7 28-24 24-21. You know, am I out of my league? You know? Of course, yes, of course you'll be back. You better be back, you jabroni. You know? And you better be back ready to feed me a lot of crap should Kansas City win. You know? But I just think that Philadelphia is better. I think their defense is tremendous. You know? What, you're just figuring out that now that I'm just out of my mind? Seriously? I guarantee you, I guarantee you that this is not going to be one of your Patrick Mahomes great games and what have you. I think this is going to be one of those games that's going to be knock 'em, rock 'em, sock 'em, one of these type of very physical offensive, defensive games that we're going to see. I mean, the more that I look at that, by the way, Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Garrett Wilson of the, I don't know who he plays for. I'll get that in a minute if I'm able to see it. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know where he's, but I think that this is just one of these rock 'em, sock 'em, knock 'em out type of games that's going to come down to the fourth quarter, but I think the Eagles going to pull it away. Okay, we just got some breaking news in a moment ago. Let's see here. Caleb Boateng, who's a Gators walk-on, has passed away. Don't know the reasons behind that. We just got that through Twitter. They've announced that, so thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Let's see. Garrett Wilson with the New York Jets has been named the Offensive Rookie of the Year by the on the awards night. They're doing the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Sauce Gardner is one of them. Let's see here. And he's played well this year. I like what Sauce Gardner. I like what Sauce Gardner's Aiden Hutchinson. That's a beast. Let me tell you, that's a beast. If Detroit could ever get something offensively going, they would be very dangerous in the NFC Central and in the NFC period. Because Aiden Hutchinson is a beast on that defensive line. Make no mistake about it. They're going to announce this. They're going to announce this in just a minute, but it should be, if I'm not mistaken, it should be either Aiden Hutchinson or Sauce Gardner. They're going to announce it here in just a second. Sauce Gardner gets the defensive rookie of the year award, and he should deserve it. Okay. So as we wind this up tonight, no new news that's coming out. As I always like to do before we end tonight's show, take a peek, a look ahead of what's going on. I don't think there are any college all-star games. I think all those are done. I think that all those teams are done. Let's see here. I want to see if we got anything going on here. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think that we have any. I don't think we have any all-star games. I think those things are done. And by the way, speaking of college football and the things that are going on with postseason, Demarcus, I want to say Demarcus Wilson or Demarcus, I forget his last name. He's head of the NFLPA. He has said that he wants to do away with the NFL combines. Now, I find that to be interesting, considering of how important those NFL combines are. And what Demar's and what he wants to do is have these little camps, pro days that most of these schools have. Which I think for pro days, I think that's how you get most of your feedback is through the pro days. But then I think for the NFL Combine, it is just as important because for those NFL Combines, one of the things that you have the opportunity to do as coaches and scouts is be able to meet with these guys one-on-one and get to know what they're about. Okay. So I don't see that. I don't see that happening anytime soon. And I don't see things changing with the officiating within the NFL. As Roger Goodell stated, the commissioner of the NFL stated the other day, he feels like that the officiating in the NFL is fine. Couldn't be any better. I'm happy with it. Seriously? Are you kidding me? Come back next week after the Super Bowl game on Sunday and tell me that you're happy with the officiating. Think about that. Think about that after what you saw in the Cincinnati game last Sunday, a couple of weeks ago. Seriously? Are you kidding me? Oh gosh. I'm just a sports guy, doing my own opinions, saying what I believe, and when I see officiating in its worst way possible, I'm gonna call it out for what it is. I really am. I was just so disgusted by the way that all went down. And look, it was a great look. The Cincinnati game was a great game. Make no mistake about it. And as I said last week or a couple of weeks ago, the call is questionable. the last part of the game, whether he should have been a flag should have been thrown. What do you expect your player to do? Okay, you see a guy running out of bounds. You just want the guy to just stop on a dime and say, "Whoa!" You know how fast that guy's going. You know what happens when he just all of a sudden stops? His ACL could break. He could have a major knee injury. Try that sometime. But what really got me in that game was the ball placement in the second half when they stopped. They knew where to place the ball, and yet they stopped and stopped the game for like 5 minutes to place the ball. What, a half an inch back or half an inch forward, whatever the hell it was. Drives me nuts. It just drives me crazy. And you knew there was something just crazy about that. But I'm sure we're going to get. I'm sure we're going to get more crazy stuff next Sunday in the Super Bowl when they meet 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Central Time. Should be a great game. Now, our agenda next week is that we're going to be back here next week. Good Lord. Kimberly finally makes it to my show. Okay, for those that are online and watching right now, post in chat. Who do you think will win the game on Sunday? Who do you think? And honestly, be honest and truthful. I'm not going to criticize who you want. Just a little independent survey here. Who do you want to win Who do you want to win on Sunday? Please post in chat who you want to win on Sunday. Okay. Kimberly sticks up with me and says, Joe isn't out of his mind. At least she knows. But seriously, post in chat and tell me, who do you think will win the game on? Who do you think will win the game on Sunday? I'm gonna give you a few minutes. And like I said, I'm gonna post I've said my feelings on what I think. Bonnie K, she's gonna say Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Come on, people. Come on. You've been bragging now. Now's your opportunity. Come on. Tell me, who do you think is going to win on Sunday? Okay. Kimberly says, I want the Chiefs to win. I think the Eagles might win, though. I would have nothing against the Eagles. A good chunk of the fan base are jerks. That statement right there says everything that I've been saying so well. Everything that I've been saying, she said it right there. Okay? And who's that? Who is the South Dakota boy that's playing? Okay? All right. Bonnie K says her boyfriend thinks the Eagles are going to win. Okay. All right. Come on, you people been jibber jabbering. Come on, tell me you think's gonna win. Old Pratty boy. Come on, Pratty boy. Well, I know what Pratty boy's gonna say. Okay, Dallas Goodard. Okay, all right. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, I get it. They're fixing to introduce the Walter Payton Man of the Year. So we're going to find who's going to win the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Then we're going to cut this off here in just a minute. Next week, Ben Taylor's going to join me. as we wrap up the regular season for the National Football League. Um, Among other guests that would join me as well, it should be a great time to end our season. Now, um, as far as what's going to happen after this, there's some things that we might be doing with the Indoor Football League and with the Iowa Barnstormers. We got to work out some kinks with that, and hopefully bring you the best of what Indoor Football League's about. It's not one of the most popular sports, but folks, let me tell you, it's a lot of fun, and it's like Arena Football League, only only I believe it is a lot more fun. So they're going to introduce the Walter Payton Man of the Year here in just a minute. I'm going to turn this. I can't do that due to copyright infringers. I can't turn up the sound. But give you an idea of who's going to be the NFL Man of the Year. So they're doing a little program on certain things. I will tell you that Patrick Mahomes has really been a big force in the community. Okay, he has really been a big force in the community, and one of the things I liked about Patrick Mahomes is that on media night there are several things that happened. One was several young kids who were journalists walked up on stage and he actually answered like 5 or 6 questions of the young journalists, and I believe there was a handicapped young lady, and she talked. He was able to talk to her or him by video. I don't know what that one was all about, but he took time out to do all that. Okay, I think Patrick Mahomes really has a big heart and does the best that he can. It's really, for what I understand, very active in his community. So, let's see here what I got here. Okay. Okay. Meadows just texted me saying he's not able to make it tonight. That's okay. Um, as I said, we're going to be getting that, finding out who's going to be the no Buccaneers. So there's not going to be a Buccaneers that's going to get the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's ever been a Tampa Bay Buccaneer that's gotten the NFL Man of the Year award. Maybe one person. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see here. I think Leroy Selman may have won that. Okay. We have a list of people that have won the Walter Payton Man of the Year awards. Let's see here. Okay. Stop that. All right. And they have all players in the NFL on stage. Oh, great. They have to go to commercial. Geez, seriously? I mean, oh man, it just kills me when they do things like that. But we'll find out who's won the Man of the Year award in just a couple of minutes. And you know what? We do have one. Derek Burks, he won in 2000, along with Jim Flanagan of the Green Bay Packers. That's the last person that won the NFL Man of the Year award. Derek Brooks back in 2000. Wow. I knew there was maybe one person. I think I always thought there may have been one person that would have won that award, but I wasn't sure who it was. So I always thought maybe Leroy Selman. I always thought that Leroy Selman would have won that award. Um, by the way, also news from the NFL, we can announce tonight Brock Purdy um, uh, has going to have elbow surgery. He's going to have it in mid February, and then they say he should be out 5 to 6 months. Um, and this from Zach Blobner, Zach on the mic. Kind of felt like Randy knew something earlier when we talked. He had Randy Barber on for an interview, so that's that's going to be interesting. So, as I said, we're waiting to find out the award here, and they're gonna find out here in just a little bit. They're showing clips of the new night court show. I don't know how many people have seen that, but I I'm a big night court fan, and I kind of like the show of what they're doing. I don't know how you guys. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I kind of do like the night court show and what they're doing. So, but that's enough on that. Um, let's see here. I hate commercials. I hate them. I hate them like crazy. I apologize for the delay. Uh, yes, Kimberly. Tom Brady is retiring. That that is official. And what I would say about that is this: I will tell you that Tom Brady had long conversations with his family about that. I'm told that they were great conversations, and I think that for Brady, he feels comfortable this time and finally announcing that he's going to retire. Now, speaking of Brady, and I'm glad that Kimberly mentions of this, we can report tonight that. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad you can be okay with the Buccaneers again. I really am glad you can be okay. Okay. Um, One thing that we can report tonight is this: is that Tom Brady is not going to be in the Fox booth for 2023, but he's going to take a year off, spend time with family, then come back in 2024. Now, during that time, it's going to be interesting to see if the. And I expect this happening. I expect Tom Brady to sign a one-day contract with the New England Patriots and formally retire as a New England Patriot. As well, he should. He's won 7 Super Bowls with them. Why not? Why not retire? He should. He should. He really should have that right to retire. So I have no problem. I truly have no problem with him doing this. And anybody that does just does not understand what goes into it. Okay. Uh, did they already announce this? Ron Rivera's up on stage. Let me check something here real quick because I don't know. Let's see here. Okay. J.J. Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. Let's see here. Sauce Gardner got Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, there's no word as to who got the NFL Man of the Year. this They bring out all the people on stage and don't bother to announce who won the award. That's just dandy. Really, really dandy. Let's see here. Here's what's interesting. We mentioned a moment ago Justin Jefferson won the NFL Offensive Player of the Year award. Here's how the final voting got tabulated. Justin Jefferson got 35 votes, Patrick Mahomes 10 votes, Jalen Hurts 1 vote, and tied for fifth Josh Allen and Tyreek Hill with 1 vote each. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So heck, I don't know who got the NFL Man of the Year award. I was hoping that would be announced before we got off the air, but apparently that is not going to happen. So now, next week, let's see here. That's interesting. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson with the Jets. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner, also with the Jets. Something to leave you with as we close out this night. Let's see what Kimberly says about Tom Brady. He should stay retired. While I don't like him, yes, I agree about the one-day contract to retire as a Patriot, since that's where he did the most. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel about it. So they are doing some things right now, but have no idea who's going to win the NFL Man of the Year award, and we also have no idea on who's going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Is Deion Sanders? That can't be Deion Sanders. Looks like him, but it's not him, so I have no idea what award is coming up next. But anyways, that is going to do it for our edition of the Animal Football Insider. Next week, Benton Taylor is going to join me here. Hopefully, we have some other guests as we wrap up the NFL portion of the Animal Football Insider. We'll tell you that we are hopeful that we can do some Animal Football Insider stuff with the Indoor Football League with Dave Murchison. Maybe have a few players on. Oh, they're doing the Coach of the Year award for the NFL and maybe some other things. I will be shocked. We'll stay on here for this one. I would be shocked if Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars does not get this award. I think that this is a tragedy. Doug Peterson, Brian Daboll of the New York Giants, and Kyle Shanahan of the San Francisco 49ers. I will be shocked. I will be shocked if Peterson does not get this. I mean, it is just amazing. I mean, I think Doug. I'll tell you right here now. I think the Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be the most surprising team in 2023. They're going to be one of the more enjoyable teams to watch in the National Football League. There, I said it. So that's good. That's going to be my prediction for 2023. So I hate the talking. They're going to announce it right here now. Let's see who got it. Brian Daboll. I am shocked by that. I am really shocked by that. I mean, he did very well. I'm very, very happy for him, but I think Doug Peterson should have gotten Coach of the Year. But what the heck do I know? Pratt, don't say a daggum thing. You hear me? That is going to do it for this edition of the Animal Football Insider. We've been on for nearly 90 minutes. I'm glad you all could join me here tonight. I want to thank Kimberly Jimmy, Bonnie K for joining me in the chat room. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys. Lucas the Man Gator, Jeffrey Neal Fox, all you guys for joining me tonight. It's been great. We've had a great time here tonight. Eagles are going to win. That is my prediction. That's my story. I am going to stick to it. And hopefully, if Kansas City wins, you can come back at me hard. So that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. We got one more show left. Hopefully, we'll make it a great one as we cap off the 2022-23 season of college football and also with the National Football League. It's been great. Y'all have a good night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Super Bowls, wherever you're going to have your parties. And if you need extra people at a party in the Des Moines area, hey, look, I'm available. I have nothing going on. Until next week, you guys stay safe. Have a good one. God bless. As I always like to say, if you're not a Gator, you're primed to be Gator bait. Good night, everybody. God bless, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching Animal Football Insider. Be sure to join us every Thursday night here on Facebook Live.